Can I actually get Tracee Ellis Ross to reveal which celebrity totally freaked her out as a kid? When people think about Tracee Ellis Ross today, they usually think of confidence, humor, and effortless charisma. She has spent years building a reputation as one of the most beloved personalities in entertainment. Whether she's making audiences laugh on television, speaking openly about self-confidence and personal growth, or sharing relatable stories from her life, Tracee seems like someone who is completely comfortable in her own skin. That's why this particular story catches so many people off guard. Because long before she became the accomplished actress and cultural icon we know today, Tracee Ellis Ross was a child. And like many children, she experienced moments that left a lasting impression on her. One of those moments involved a celebrity whose presence was so overwhelming that it genuinely frightened her. At first, that idea seems almost impossible to imagine. After all, Tracee grew up around famous people. She wasn't someone who only saw celebrities on television or in magazines. She was exposed to the entertainment industry from a very young age. Most people would assume that a child raised in that environment would be completely comfortable around famous faces. But childhood emotions don't always work that way. Sometimes the very things adults find exciting are the same things children find intimidating. Sometimes a larger-than-life personality feels even larger through the eyes of a child. And sometimes a celebrity's carefully crafted image becomes so powerful that it creates a reaction nobody expects. According to Tracee's recollection, there was one particular celebrity who had exactly that effect on her. This wasn't just a performer with a few hit songs. This was a cultural phenomenon. A superstar whose image seemed to be everywhere. Someone who commanded attention whenever they entered a room. Their style was distinctive. Their energy was unforgettable. Their presence was impossible to ignore. For adults, those qualities often translated into admiration. For a young Tracee Ellis Ross, however, they translated into something entirely different. Fear. It's important to remember that children process information differently than adults. A performer who appears confident and artistic to a grown-up may appear mysterious and intimidating to a child. A stage persona designed to captivate audiences can seem overwhelming when viewed through young eyes. The lights, the music, the costumes, the crowds, the excitement, all of it combines to create an experience that feels much bigger than reality. For Tracee, that experience became unforgettable. She has described being around 8 or 9 years old when the moment occurred. By that point, she was already familiar with the celebrity's work. Like millions of other people, she had seen their image and heard their music. But seeing someone in person is completely different from seeing them on a screen. Television creates distance. Real life removes it. Suddenly the person isn't a character anymore. They're standing right there. They're moving. They're speaking. They're performing. And for a child, that can be surprisingly intense. Tracee recalls encountering this celebrity at an event where they were performing. The atmosphere itself was already exciting. There were people everywhere. The energy in the room was high. Everyone seemed focused on the performer. As the celebrity took center stage, the crowd reacted immediately. The excitement became contagious. The noise became louder. The energy became stronger. For many people in attendance, it was an incredible moment. For Tracee, it was terrifying. The reaction happened almost instantly. Rather than feeling excited, she felt frozen. The larger-than-life image that had seemed so powerful from a distance now felt even more overwhelming in person. Every movement appeared bigger. Every sound seemed louder. Every detail felt more intense. What adults viewed as charisma and stage presence, she experienced as something intimidating. Looking back on it now, the story is funny. It's easy to laugh at childhood fears once enough time has passed. But at the time, the emotions were completely real. That's something many people can relate to. Almost everyone has experienced an irrational fear during childhood. Maybe it was a movie character. Maybe it was a television host. Maybe it was a mascot at a sports game. Maybe it was a performer wearing dramatic makeup or costumes. The source doesn't really matter. What matters is the feeling. Children often respond emotionally before they fully understand what they're seeing. As a result, perfectly harmless situations can feel enormous and overwhelming. That's part of what makes Tracee's story so relatable. Despite her unique upbringing, she experienced something universal. She discovered that fear doesn't always make logical sense. Sometimes it simply happens. Another reason the story resonates is because it humanizes someone who often appears fearless. Tracee Ellis Ross is admired by millions of people. She's known for speaking confidently about self-worth, individuality, and embracing authenticity. Many fans see her as someone who is completely comfortable being herself. Hearing her admit that she once froze in fear because of a celebrity creates an unexpected contrast. It reminds people that confidence develops over time. Nobody starts life completely fearless. Everyone has moments of insecurity. Everyone has experiences that challenge them. Everyone has memories that seem funny years later, but felt very serious at the time. That's what makes stories like this so powerful. They reveal the person behind the public image. Another interesting aspect of the story involves the nature of celebrity itself. Celebrities occupy a strange place in society. They are real people, yet they're often treated like larger-than-life figures. Children are especially likely to view famous individuals this way. Without the perspective that comes with age, it's easy to believe that celebrities are somehow different from ordinary people. Their images are bigger. Their personalities seem larger. Their influence feels enormous. For a child, that perception can be overwhelming. Tracee's experience reflects that reality perfectly. The celebrity who frightened her wasn't actually threatening. Nothing dangerous happened. The fear came entirely from the way she perceived the situation. And that's often how childhood fears work. They're based on feelings rather than facts. They're emotional rather than rational. Yet they remain incredibly memorable. Years later, Tracee can still recall the experience, because of how strongly it affected her. The memory stands out not because of what happened, but because of how it felt. That distinction matters. Some childhood memories fade quickly, others remain vivid forever. Usually, the memories that stay with us are the ones connected to strong emotions. Excitement, embarrassment, joy, fear. Tracee's encounter contained enough emotion to become one of those lasting memories. As she grew older, of course, her perspective changed. The celebrity who once seemed intimidating became easier to understand. The fear disappeared. The memory remained. That's often what happens with childhood experiences. We don't necessarily forget them. Instead, we reinterpret them. We look back with adult eyes and see situations differently than we did at the time. What once felt frightening now feels amusing. What once felt overwhelming now feels harmless. The experience becomes a story rather than a fear. That's exactly what happened here. Today, Tracee shares the memory with humor rather than anxiety. She understands that her reaction came from being a child confronted with something she wasn't fully prepared to process. Instead of feeling embarrassed about it, she embraces the story. And that's another reason fans appreciate her. She doesn't present herself as perfect. She doesn't pretend she has always been fearless. She openly acknowledges the awkward, funny, and vulnerable moments that shaped her. In doing so, she makes herself more relatable. The story also offers a reminder about how much people change over time. The frightened child who froze in the presence of a celebrity eventually became a confident woman capable of commanding her own audience. The fear didn't define her. It didn't limit her. It simply became one chapter in a much larger story. That's an important lesson. Many childhood fears feel permanent when we're young. They seem impossible to overcome. Yet most people eventually outgrow them. They gain confidence. They gain perspective. They learn that the things which once seemed overwhelming aren't nearly as intimidating as they appeared. Tracee's experience reflects that journey perfectly. Today, audiences see a successful actress, producer, speaker, and cultural icon. They see someone comfortable in the spotlight. They see someone who inspires confidence in others. But stories like this reveal the path she took to get there. They remind people that confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's what develops after we've learned to move beyond it. In the end, the celebrity who frightened Tracee Ellis Ross may not be the most important part of the story. The real story is about perspective. It's about childhood. It's about growth. It's about the funny, unexpected experiences that stay with us long after they happen. Most importantly, it's about the realization that even the people we admire were once children navigating a world that often felt much bigger than they were. And perhaps that's why this story continues to resonate. Because beneath the celebrity names, the glamorous events, and the entertainment industry setting lies something completely universal. A child encountering something overwhelming, a memory that refuses to fade, and an adult who can now look back, laugh, and appreciate just how far she's come. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.